My name is Samantha Miller. I'm 34 years old, a single mother, and an emergency logistics coordinator. When disasters strike, I'm the person people call to create order out of chaos. I thought I could handle any crisis, but nothing prepared me for my sister's wedding. The reception was being held in a beautiful ballroom in downtown Chicago. I arrived alone, carrying a small velvet box containing a gift I had spent months saving for. An antique compass engraved with the words, "May you always find your way home." I wanted the day to be peaceful. I should have known better. From the moment I arrived, I felt unwanted. A photographer actually asked if I worked for the catering staff. My mother immediately said, "Don't make a scene tonight. This day is about Julia." I hadn't even spoken yet. That was my family. Julia was always the favorite. Beautiful, charming, and adored by everyone. I was the one who worked hard, solved problems, and somehow still got blamed for everything. When dinner began, I discovered my seat had been moved away from the family table. My place card simply read, "Guest." Not sister, not family, just guest. They weren't just insulting me. They were insulting my child, the little boy who hugged me before I left and asked, "Mom, are they going to be nice to you?" I had promised him they would. I was wrong. I wanted to leave. I wanted to disappear. Then I noticed something strange. Julia's groom, Jonathan, wasn't laughing. Not even a little. His face had gone pale. Julia noticed and nervously said, "Relax, honey. It's just family humor." Jonathan slowly stood up. The entire ballroom became silent. He walked onto the stage, took the microphone from Julia's hand, and said something nobody expected. "Samantha, I'm sorry." The room froze. Jonathan looked directly at me. I knew some of this before tonight, and I hoped I was wrong. Julia's smile vanished. "What are you talking about?" she asked. Jonathan reached into his jacket and pulled out several documents. Truth. 6 months earlier, his nonprofit organization reviewed a disaster relief proposal that helped dozens of families after a flood. The proposal was brilliant. The person who created it was me. Jonathan explained how my work saved families and helped his organization avoid costly mistakes. Then he revealed something shocking. When he suggested hiring me professionally, Julia tried to stop it. She called me unstable, jealous, unreliable, and unqualified. The room became completely silent. Then Jonathan exposed the worst part. An anonymous email had been sent to his nonprofit. It contained private details about my custody case and warned them not to hire me. Jonathan's IT team traced the email. It came from Julia's work laptop. Gasps filled the ballroom. Julia instantly denied everything, but Jonathan had evidence. The records, the dates, the digital trail. Jonathan looked at Julia and said, "You tried to destroy your own sister's career because you were afraid people would respect her." Nobody laughed now. Nobody smiled. For the first time, everyone could see the truth. Julia wasn't the victim. She was the bully. Jonathan continued, "Tonight, you mocked Samantha, mocked her son, and expected me to join in." Then he turned toward me. "Your work mattered. You earned every opportunity you received, and you deserved better than this." I felt tears in my eyes, not because I was hurt, but because somebody finally said what I needed to hear. I walked onto the stage and took the microphone. My hands were shaking, but my voice was steady. I told everyone how every insult had always been dismissed as a joke, how every time I got hurt, I was told I was too sensitive. Then I looked at my parents. "You laughed tonight," I said, "and that tells me everything I need to know." Then Jonathan delivered the final blow. He looked directly at Julia and said, "I'm not marrying someone who treats people this way." The room exploded. Julia's face turned white. "You don't mean that," she whispered. Jonathan slowly removed his wedding ring and placed it on the table. "I do." Silence. Complete silence. The wedding was over. Guests started leaving. Julia's coworkers looked horrified. Her boss demanded answers. Her perfect image was collapsing in front of everyone. A few minutes later, I picked up my coat and prepared to leave. I didn't scream. I didn't argue. I didn't seek revenge. I simply walked away. As I reached the lobby, I called Noah. He sounded sleepy. "Mommy? Yeah, buddy. Did you be brave?" I smiled through tears. "Yes," I said. "I finally was." Weeks later, my work was finally recognized. I received a consulting contract, and my life moved forward. Julia lost her wedding, her reputation, and the illusion that cruelty never has consequences. As for me, I stopped trying to earn love from people who only valued me when I stayed quiet. Because sometimes the greatest victory isn't revenge. It's refusing to carry the shame someone else tried to give you. And that night, for the first time in my life, I walked away free.